Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is AP StarCraft, and I will be bringing you a Zerg versus Protoss game on Metalopolis. My red Zerg will be in the middle right position of the map, and my blue Protoss opponent will be in the top rightish middle portion of the map. My opponent's name is Cake, and this will be a diamond level game. Sending my overlord over here to go scout the nearest other starting area, which is always a good idea to do. Gives your drone one less area to scout, and you don't have to send out your drone out to scout as early because you'll be able to getting a scout off to the multiple starting areas in an earlier time. So my overlord is going to find him fairly soon. My drone, sending out my other drone at, I believe it was 9 drone, to go scout out the map. And as you can see, I waypointed him from here and to go over here, but I noticed my overlord notices that his position is over here, so I decided to pull the drone back. I wonder if my opponent was able to see me. He might have been able to see me. He's coming back, so I think he knows where I am. I think my opponent noticed where my overlord came from, and he was able to see it. So my opponent's pulling his drone back here, his probe back here rather, to come scout out my base and see exactly what I'm doing. I have my overlord hovering over my natural expansion over here by the ram, just to see if my opponent tries to do any fishy stuff, put a pylon over here or try to block me in, or some kind of photon cannon rusher, or pylon like a proxy rusher, something of that nature. And I stole my opponent's gas over there, and in response my opponent stole my gas, which I honestly don't feel is a good idea against a Zerg player. The reason it's generally a good idea for a Zerg player to steal a Protoss player's gas is because normally a lot of the builds require 2 gases fairly early, except for perhaps strong zealot pushes and strong zealot attacks. But really for the Zerg, they don't really require that much gas during their early game. I mean, I just put on 3 drones on my extractor just to get enough resources in order to get the metabolic boost upgrade. But once I get 100 gas, I pull 2 off. I only leave 1 drone over here. So it's not really going to do anything to delay me, except for maybe delay a couple of my units that is going to attack my opponent's assimilator over here in order to take it down so it doesn't act as a scout. Oh, and I was unable to micro this correctly, and I allowed my extractor to finish over here. I should have kept canceling it over here so that it will stay up as long as possible, but I did not do that. I see that my opponent's probe has come back to my base, and I'm giving chase because I don't want him going around laying a proxy somewhere, because that's very key when you're fighting a Protoss opponent that's going for a 3-gate or a 4-gate push. If he's able to lay a proxy down somewhere by your base and you don't notice it, he's going to be able to do his rush a lot quicker and a lot earlier than he would be if he had to walk his units down here first and then lay down a proxy. So make sure to scout out areas so that, like around here, back down here, just to make sure that your opponent doesn't lay down any proxies. Have a couple of lings taking up these Xel'Naga towers in order to see if his probe comes running by. And it's a good idea to have a ling over here so that you know when your opponent decides to push out. I'm bringing my overlord over here to scout. As you can notice, it's around this around this supply 25 to 28 to 2030. And I noticed that my opponent is building a Stargate, so I decided, okay, I guess I'm going to have to build some additional queens and delay that lair tech and just pump out 4 queens. But as you can see, my opponent did cancel his Stargate over here. Perhaps it's because he saw that I had noticed it and he decided, okay, that's not going to surprise me, so I better go a different route. So right now I don't know that my opponent is not making that Stargate. Right now I'm under the impression that my opponent is going to make a Stargate, so I'm preparing to counter it thus. I am preparing to counter it by making 2 additional queens. 1 just popped out, so I'm going to have 4 queens on the field in order to deal with that pylon. As you can see, my ling over here notices the probe coming down, so I sent another Ling down here to meet it and to attack it, which is doing a good job. And as you can see, he was trying to put down a proxy pylon over here. It's a good idea because look, instead of warping his units down here, he has to bring his units over here, and now it's going to take longer for his units to get to my base, and it'll give me time to arrange the defense. See, if he had proxy in his units right here, I really don't have anything at the moment to defend from it. I don't even have the spawn crawlers. Spawn crawlers are going up right now. And call it game sense, call it gamer intuition, but I had a feeling that something fishy was going on. I decided to go back and take a look to see if my opponent had canceled the Stargate or not. And as you can see, my Overlord notices that my opponent did indeed cancel the Stargate. So I decided to start preparing to counter my opponent, who is attempting to do a push on my base with a little bit delayed due to the Stargate being cancelled. But since I was caught a little bit off guard with him tech switching, it's not going to be that horrible of a delay. And as you can see, now that my opponent was able to pull down an army over here, he builds a proxy pylon over here, and I pull out the Lings over here. Not exactly sure why. Perhaps to get a surround on him or something of that nature. And as you can see, my opponent is attempting to go for a surround over here. I tried to do a surround over here with my Lings, but these force fields are doing a number of my Lings. It's not working out so well for me right now. And my opponent looks like he's pulling back, and I have my 5 queens over here in order to help defend with my spine crawlers over here. I probably should have put an additional spine crawler over here, perhaps pull this one up and bring it down here. But I believe I did put down the spine crawler over there. Oh, and it looks like I pulled my Lings around because I felt comfortable with my defenses at my base at the moment to try to go do a run by or something. But my opponent was able to warp in several zealots over here, so my Lings are not going to be able to get in and do any damage.